What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rich Nice back once again. So today we're back on the D150 truck. Today we're going to replace the carburetor itself. This one is probably, I'd say probably about 40 years old. I don't think it's been replaced. It looks stock. So first thing we need to do is there's 4 bolts or nuts this size, 13 millimeter, that hold it on. There's also the linkage right here that we will have to disconnect, and there's a little clip that's on here that we'll have to pull off, and then the pedal linkage itself will slide off. Then we gotta disconnect our choke over here. There's just a little clip that pops back, and then we'll make sure all our vacuum lines along with our fuel line right here are loose and off. The biggest thing about this is you want to make sure that you don't break this hose right here or this line, because it's metal. So you want to hold this nut right here and then loosen this nut. Other than that, everything else looks fairly straightforward. I don't see anything that would cause us any issues. Then we'll put our spring back on. It just clips on right here like this. Come on, get on there. It clips on just like that. We may have to take this spring right here off, but we'll get into it and go from there. So while I go get some tools, y'all go ahead and watch this video.
Dark side, light this bitch up.
We'll get this little clip out here. This is what it looks like. Sometimes they have a little bit different clip, and we're putting everything inside of our magnetic tray that we don't lose anything. And then this should just fall off like that. I think we will have to take this spring off here. So I'll take that off. Lid right there. We'll take this spring off. Right here. So this is loose. Then over here, we're going to take off. We'll take our clutch, our choke off, and it just has this little clip here. As you can see, this is what the clip looks like, and it just fits in, and then your rod goes through it. So I think that's it on this side. Then we'll just get our rest of our bolts out, and this thing will be ready to come off. So I won't bore you with that. All right, for our fuse line, fuel line, I'm using a line wrench. This is a 9/16 for the big nut that's on the actual carburetor itself, and then I'm using a 1/2 inch for the one that's on the actual fuel line. You just want to make sure you hold it. That way you don't end up breaking your fuel line. Now you will get some gas out of here, so just be aware. You might want to put a towel or something down. So I'll get a towel before I disconnect that. Other than that, we got 2 vacuum hoses that looks like we got to take off, and then the whole carburetor will be ready to come off. So let me go grab a rag to catch this fuel, and we'll be back. Alright, we were lucky we didn't have any fuse leak out, so that's a good thing. We got 1 vacuum here that was plugged off, so we don't have to worry about that one. As you can see, my father-in-law put a screw in it to cut it off, and I think there may be a couple on the back. There we go, just like that. So, as you can see, there's a T on the back for these 2 smaller hoses, and then this bigger hose looks like it comes around, it connects to this right here and comes over to our PVC valve. So I will get these disconnected, we'll get this completely off, and we'll go compare this one to the Chinese version of it, which is about 70 bucks from Amazon. And see if there's any major differences. Alright, YouTube, we got our old carburetor off. As you can see, it's much smaller than the new one. On the front, the new one actually has a port right here, which is located right here. It has the same 2 adjustment knobs down here that this one does, but it has an extra port just in case you need to run an extra vacuum. Looking on the right side of it where the choke goes, as you can see, it's pretty much the same on this side, except for there's this port right here that was blocked off that we're not going to use here, and then there is a port up here that there is not one over here. Going to the rear on the new one, on the rear, this one only has 2 ports, well, this one has 5 ports. It has one here, this one. Now this one on the factory one had a T hose connected to it, which is right here. So I don't think we all need that T because we have all these ports that we can plug stuff into. So I don't know, we'll see. And then on the left side of the carburetor, it's the same, but we will remove this piece right here because we need to stick it in this piece right here. That way we have something for our cable to hook to. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. And so I'll get this piece swapped over, then this thing will be ready to go back on, and we'll go from there. Is these gaskets that come with the new carburetor are really thin compared to the gasket that's already on here that's real thick. So it's twice as thick as the ones that come in here. So I think we'll stick with this because it wasn't leaking. I don't think it was giving us any issues. And if it does give us any issues, then all we got to do is just 4 bolts, pull it up, swap it out, put it back on, and then we'll be done with that. So I will continue to knock this stuff out, and we'll get this carburetor back on and see if we can get this thing started.
Not the Steelers.
They won.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Who are they playing? Oh, my bad.
The Falcons.
Ah.
All right, just like that, we got this hooked up. We'll hook our springs back up. Like that. This spring should come over across here. Like that. Then we'll get our choke hooked back up right here. And I think we got all our vacuum lines. I'll double check everything, and we'll get our fuel line hooked up. So I'll be back. So with this clip right here, the way it works is it slides on this piece right here. Your rod goes through it, and then it clips onto your rod, and that's what holds it in place. So that's what it looks like, and that's how it's done. Normally there's two of these. There's one on the actual throttle linkage, but they decided to put a little hairpin clip in it. So I'll get this on, and we'll get our bolts on and see what we can see. Alright, tube, we went to go try to start it and it wouldn't start. I suspect it was the starter, so I went ahead and replaced it. I didn't want to show you guys and take you through the trouble of that, but this is your starter relay right here. It's a 6-pin relay, and it just bolts on the wall right here where this one is. So this is a new one. I just got to take the bolt out of this old one, put the new one in. The starter itself, this is the part number right here. There's the part number from Napa. And then this is what the actual starter looks like right here. So this is the actual starter. When it's underneath, it bolts in just like this right here. It bolts in. There's two 5mm 5/8 bolts that go here, and one down on the bottom. Then you'll have a 1/2" bolt that comes from here, and this wire goes up to the battery. And then you have a 5/16 bolt that goes here, or nuts say, that goes here, and this goes to your neutral safety switch that's on your relay itself. And that wire is the wire down here on the bottom. This big thick brown looking wire, which is probably should be purple, but that's your goes down to your neutral safety switch. So I replaced it. Now let's see if we can finally get this thing to start, so we can call this project done. All right, go in and hit the start button. does have a little bit of a rough idle. That's just the way it came. So you'll have to adjust these screws back here. And it'll give it a little more throttle. So it'll run like this right here. So I will get all this stuff put back together, and I'll show you what everything looks like once we get it all together and adjust the screw. Again, it's just Phillips screw head right here. Turn it in so you can push this out, and that will give it a little bit better idle, and you can call it good. And then we'll put our breather back on, and then we'll bolt our relay back up into place of this one, and it's a done deal. So I'll go do that right now, and we'll be back. All right, YouTube, I forgot to give you the part number for the relay itself. This is the relay part number. Again, it came from AutoZone. You can get them at any of the auto parts stores. This is what your relay looks like. It goes on the wall like this. And then these two inner, these two right here are for your neutral safety switch. So, and I think that this one came off, and that's why it wouldn't start. So anyway, I just went ahead and replaced it. Might as well, since we're replacing everything as we go anyway. So let's get in here and see if we can get this thing started. And just like that. All right, YouTube, we got everything back together. We got our relay back in its place right there on the wall. Got our breather and our air filter, everything on. AC is blowing out cold. So I think this thing is roadworthy now. We still got to replace the shocks, front tie rod ends, but other than that, I think she's ready to run. So just like that, we replaced the carburetor. Real easy job, not too hard. Replace the starter. I didn't show you that, but it's really easy. It's 4 bolts and it comes out. 4 bolts, you put it back in. Too easy. Other than that, we'll be on to the next project, which I think is probably going to be Flash or something like that. Who knows? We also got to do some work on the Hellcat, so stay tuned. If you want to see those videos, make sure you come back, you hit that bell, you like, you subscribe. It helps me grow the channel, helps me do more projects like this, because I don't make a dime from YouTube, so it is what it is. If you got any questions, just hit them in the comments and let me know. If I did anything wrong that you could have done better, or there's an easier way to do things, let me know in the comments. Till next time, peace.